Hello friends, my name is Maipal Singh and today I will teach you quantitative aptitude and in this class I will teach one of the basic topic of quantitative aptitude, that is average. So student think average is very easy because it has only one formula and there is nothing much we can do about the average. But if we go with the help of formula only, then we have to do a lot of calculations. So average is a logical concept. So you have to apply some logic. No, if you do all the questions with the help of formula only, then you have to do so much of calculation, which will take so much of time, which is not available in today's type of exams. Like competitive exams has very less time, so you have to do it in fast way. So I will teach you so many techniques to solve the questions of average without any calculation. So you have to learn the logic. Okay, so when we think about the average, so we direct the formula directly came into our mind, that is sum of the observation upon number of the observations, or we can say that sum of the sum of the things, sum of the things upon total number of things, upon total number of things. So this is the formula which came in our mind, right? So but if we use this formula every time in each question, then it will take so much of time. So there is a question in front of your screen. So if you read this question, there are three classes ABC with 54, 72, 81 student respectively, and the average marks in class A, B, C are 73, 63, 85 respectively. If all three classes are merged in a single class, what will be the new average? So if you go with the formula, right, it will take so much of time. Like if I take normal part, then it will take 3 to 4 minutes if you go with the formula. But if you go with the logic, right, so you will be able to solve this question in 40 to 50 seconds only. So this is the difference in logic and formula, right? So if you go with the help of formula, then you will do what? So first you have to calculate the total marks of class A, then total marks of class B, and then total marks of the class C. So how many student are there? There are three classes and student. So first class A class has 54 student and average is what? 73. So we have to take the total marks of the class A. Then total marks of the class B will be what? 72 into 63. And total marks of class C is what? 81 into 85. Now we have to add all these three quantities. Now add all these three quantities. Now divide them what? And divide this part by what? The total strength of all classes together, 72. So this is the basic use. So you have to multiply this quantity, then this part, then this part, then add all these quantities and divide, and then add all these three quantities of total marks, then divide by the total strength. So this will be the basic part. So by doing this, so one calculation, two calculation, three calculation, and addition is again fourth calculation. Fifth calculation is what? Adding 54, 72, 81, and then sixth calculation is division itself, which is again a big calculation. So it will take around 3 to 4 minutes, right? So but what I'm saying, but with the help of logic you can solve this question in 40 to 50 second only. How we will do this, I will tell you in the later part. First we will move to the logic part, the logic which I am talking about. So let us suppose one more example. The average score of 48 student in a maths test is 53. If the highest and lowest scores were excluded, the average score of the class would decrease by 1, and the difference of these two scores is 60, then find the highest score. So again, if you do not know the logic, then you have to first calculate what is the total marks of the 48 students present in the class. So this will be the total marks. Now if highest and lowest scores were excluded, that means two students are excluded, then remaining student will be what, 46, and average is decreased by 1, then average becomes 52. So again you have to multiply this part. So when you take the difference of this part, then you will get lowest plus highest marks, right? You will get lowest plus highest marks, let us suppose x, and highest minus lowest is already given 60, then you will calculate, but you have to do these two calculation and then subtract, then only you will be able to calculate lowest and highest values, right? So again you are calculating, the calculation is what, multiplication of these two values and multiplication of these two values. So it will again take around 1 minute to solve this question, but if you know the logic, you can do it in 30 to 40 seconds only. So what is the logic, we will talk about uh, in the next slide. So basic, first we will study about the basic properties of the average. So what is average? We have already told that total number of things upon total of the things upon number of things is the average part. So let us suppose if I say there are four things, there are four quantities x, y, w and z. X, y, w and z are four quantities, and average of x, y, z is a, right? So the first property is what? First property is what? If x, y, z, w, each of the quantity is increased by, each of the quantity is increased by, let us suppose b, then average becomes a plus b. As every quantity is increased by b, if every quantity is increased by b, then average will become a plus b. Then average will also be increased by b. If every quantity is decreased by b, if every quantity is decreased by b, then again every quantity will also, then average will also be decreased by b. Then average becomes a minus b. If every quantity is multiplied by b, multiplied, right, multiplied by b, then average will also be multiplied by b, right? And the fourth one is, if every quantity is divided by b, divided by b, then average becomes a by b. But when it is happening, if these increment or decrement or multiplication or division is happening with each quantity, if it is happening on each quantity, then the change will also reflect in the average. If it is increased, then average will also increase. If it is decreased, average will also decrease. So these are the four basic properties, right? And the most important property which I am talking about, let us, again I am taking an example. Let us suppose there is a class A and there is another class B, and the number of students in class A is like 36 and class B is 54, right? These are the number of student, and average weight of class A is let us suppose if I say 40, and average weight of class B is 50. If both the classes are combined, then what should be the average weight? So the basic formula you will use is find out the total. So 36 into 40 plus total of these classes, then divide this part by how much? Number of student. So 36 plus 54, right? But instead of taking the actual quantity, we can also take the ratio of the strength. So what is the strength? Strength is 36 and 54. The ratio will be what? 2:3, right? So we can also take the ratio to calculate the average weight. How we can do? If we are taking the ratio, then 40 into 2 plus 50 into 3, now divide by 2 plus 3, right? So this is also, so this will this average is much easier to calculate. So if the strength is given, so we can take the ratio of the strength, then we can find out the average. So this is also one of the basic property. With the help of ratio, we can also find out the combined average of 2 classes or 3 classes. Okay, now the method or the logic which I was talking about. So how we should approach these type of question? This is the simplest question which I can ask you. So the simplest question is what? 27, 51, 43, 14 and 35. Find out the average. Right? So these are the 5 numbers. So the first thing which came into my mind is, let us add all these number and divide by 5, right? I will get the average, right? This is the one of the part. But what logic says, we must use the deviation method. There is a method called deviation. So deviation, so by what quantity this value is deviated from the quantity which we will assume. So we can assume a quantity out of these 5 quantities which will act as an average of all these 5 numbers. It will not be the actual average, but it will act as an average, right? So if we take, this is the first quantity, then second quantity, then third quantity, then fourth quantity, then fifth quantity. So we can assume any of the quantity. So we will take middle one. So we will take 35 as an average. Let 35 be as an average. So by what value 27 is less than 35? So this is the deviation. So what deviation is there if we compare 27 by 35? So it is less by 8. So we will take minus 8. And by what value 51 is more than 35? So it is 16 more. So we will take plus. And 43. So 43 is 8 more. So we will take plus 8. Now 14 is what? 14 is 21 less than 35. We will take minus 21. But 35, so the deviation is 0. So we need not to calculate here. So 8 will cancel out. Now what is the exact deviation? So if all the values are cancelled out and we are remaining with 0, then whatever we have assumed is the actual average also. जो हमने assume किया था, that will be the average if the deviation is, overall deviation is 0. But if deviation is in negative format, like if it is coming like -5, then this deviation will be divided among all the numbers, among all. So -5. So we have assumed what? We have assumed 35 as an average. So 35 is average when the deviation is 0. When deviation was 0, but we are getting deviation -5. So we will take average will be -5 and this 5 will be divided among all the numbers. So if I divide this part by 5, you will get average 34. So now you think, sir, this process is also taking the same time and this process is also taking the same time. So same type of calculation is there. But if you do the questions with deviation method, in the complicated questions, if you apply the deviation method, it will definitely reduce your calculation part. Let me tell you how. So the average marks of a class is 80, which has 50 student, right? If another student is included with 124 marks, what is the changed average marks? So if you go with the formula only, you will do what? So 50 into 80 is the total marks, and one student came with 124 marks. Now divide this part with 51, you will get the average marks. So you have to multiply this part, you have to add this part, then you have to divide this part by 51. And if these values are complicated, like 53 into 87 plus 124, now divide by 51, then it becomes very difficult for you people to realize. Now in this case, deviation method will work fine because you can solve this question within 10 seconds. Otherwise, what you have to do? You have to multiply, then add, then divide. It will take again 40 to 50 second, which you can do in 10 second. So how we can do this part in 10 second? This is the main part. I hope you are getting my point, right? समझ में आ रहा है? Are you getting my point? Everybody is able to understand what I'm saying, right? Okay. The average marks of the class is 80 and which has 50 student. If another student is included with 124 marks, what is the changed average? So the average marks, what is the average? Average is 80 and number of students are what? Number of students are 50 and average is what? 80. So let us suppose any student is coming. If it is coming with 80 marks only, then there is no change in the average, because whatever. So what is the meaning of average? So if 50 students are there, let us suppose this is first student, second student, third. All the students are standing in a row, and everybody has 50 as an weight. So if everybody has 50 as an weight, that means average is 50. We can assume like this, every student in this class has 50 weight. That's why we are the average marks is 80. So if average marks is 80, so make this part as an 80. So average marks is 80. So everybody has 80 marks. That's why we are saying average is 80. So if another person comes with 80 marks only, then there is no change in the average. If any person -1, if any person goes with 80 marks, there is no change in the average. So what will change our average? If a person comes with more marks or if a person goes with more marks. So if this person is coming with more marks, so how many marks he is having extra? So 80 plus, what is extra? 80 plus 20 plus 24, 44. So now these 44 marks will be divided among all the students. So our average will be what? 80 plus 44 divided by 51. So it will come like 80.8 something, right? So this is a matter of 10 seconds, but if you do this part, then it will take 40 to 50 seconds, right? So this is known as the deviation method, or you can say that logic. So this is the logical way to find out the average. I hope you are getting my point. Everybody on the same page, right? So now do the next question. Now these are the type of question which will come into your exam. So again, average pocket money of a class is 113, which has 85 students. If teacher's pocket money is included, then average pocket money becomes 115. Then what will be the pocket money of the teacher, right? So this is one of the easiest question among the exam, which has come so many times in exams like SSC and Bank PO, or IBPS PO, or SBI clerk, in low level RRB NTPC, in low level of exam. But nowadays these type of questions are not asked. But even I'm giving you this type of question. Why? To get used to of this logical method or deviation method. Okay, so just do your calculation. Let me see how much time you will take to solve this question. Okay, so how I will do this question? So there are 85 students. So there are 85 students, right? And the average pocket money is 113, right? If the pocket money of teacher is included, then average becomes 115. So plus teacher. So 85 student plus teacher, then average pocket money becomes 115. So then what will be the pocket money of the teacher? So the basic method is what? 113 into 85, and it becomes 115 into 86, because now number of people are increased by 1. So if I take the difference of both these values, then that will be the pocket money of teacher. But again, this will take so much of time to calculate. 113 into 85, 115 into 86 will take so much of time, right? So what we can do? So we will think logically. And how we will think logically? Let us suppose all the students are standing in a row and everybody has 113 rupees in their hand, right? Everybody is standing in a row and everybody has 113 rupees in their hand or in their pocket, then only the average is 113, right? Now teacher comes and टीचर गो टू एवरी स्टूडेंट, टीचर हर स्टूडेंट के पास जाता है एंड गिव हिम 2 rupees, गिव हिम 2 rupees, then it becomes 115, right? So all 85 students are standing in a row and teacher goes to each student or every student and give him 2 rupees each. So teacher is distributing 2 rupees to all 85 students, then average becomes 115 for all the student, right? So how much money teacher has distributed? 85 into 2 to make the average 115 with all the student, right? So 85 into 2 is what? So 85 into 2 is the money which teacher has already distributed, and even he has kept 115 rupees with him, then only the average of all 85 plus teacher becomes 115. So now he has 115 with him and 85 into 2 he has distributed. So 85 into 2 is what? 85 into 2 is what? How much he has distributed? He has distributed 170 and 115 he has. So the pocket money of teacher was 285. Otherwise, what you have to do? Multiply this part and take the difference. So difference will also give you the same answer as this one. So answer is 285. I hope you are getting my point. Now, the average age of group of student is 17 years. If a 66-year-old teacher join the group, so a group has n number of students. Let us suppose n students are there, whose average age is 17, right? Now n plus teacher is coming, then average becomes 18. So average becomes 18. Now the question is the number of students in the group is. So how many students are there in that group? So you can easily do this type of question with the logic. Within 10 seconds you can find out the answer. How? So you can think like teacher is of what age? 66 years, right? And now the average of every student is including teacher is 18. So that means teacher also has 18 years with him. So take this part as consider this part in terms of money. Let us suppose n students average pocket money is 17 rupees. Now if we include the pocket money of teacher, then every student has 18 rupees. So what teacher did? He has distributed 1 rupee to each student and kept 18 rupees for himself also. So he has kept 18 rupees for himself, and what he has total? 66. So 18 minus 66. 18 minus, so this is 48, right? This is what? 48. I hope you are getting my point, right? So he has kept 60. He has kept what? 18 with himself, 18 rupees with himself, and left with 48. So this is the amount, these are the number of rupees, or this is the amount which he has distributed among the student. And how much he has distributed? he has given each student 1 rupee only, because the age is increased by 1 only. So how many students were there in the class? 48 students were there, right? So we can directly say 48 were there. Otherwise, with the help of basic method, what you have to do, the total age will be 17 into n plus 66. Now divide this part by what? N plus 1, then average becomes 18. So this is the calculation which you need to do if you do with the help of basic or with the help of formula. So I am uh, teaching you the logic or the deviation method, you can call it in the uh, mathematics kind of language, but in layman's language you can say that it's a logic kind of thing. So logically, you have to always think logically. If you will be able to solve all the questions of these type with logic, then you will take uh, very less time in comparison to formula based calculation. Now the average weight of 64 people in a bank is 74 kg. If two new people come to the bank, then average is increased by 2 kg. Then what is the sum of the weights of those new people? So those two new people, right? So again, we can do this part in 10 second only. How we can do it? So think, there are 64 people and their average weight is 74 kg. Now two people are coming and average is increased by how much? 2 kg each. So average becomes 76. So what is happening here? Let us suppose all these 64 people who are in the bank are standing in a line, and everybody has 74 rupees in their hand. Think like that, right? So everybody has 74 rupees in their hand. Now these two new people came and everybody has now how much money? 76. So they have distributed 2 rupees to each person, right? 2 rupees to each person, right? So it will be 64 into 2. So this is the amount they have already distributed, right? And 76, everybody has 76 including them. That means they also have 76 plus 76. So how much they have with them? 152 plus 128 will give you 380 or 280, sorry, right? So this is how you can calculate without any calculation. Otherwise, what you have to do? 64 into 74 and 66 into 78, and difference is the total weight of those two new people. So again, the calculation is avoided with the help of logic and deviation method. Now, the average age of group of two people was calculated as 28 years, and this was 2 years more than the correct average. So the calculated average was 28, which is not correct, which is wrong average. So the wrong average was 28 years and the correct average is what? 26 years, because the wrong average was 2 years more. And this has happened why? There was an error in noting the age of two persons as 34 and 30. So they have noted down 34 and 38 instead of 21 and 23. So if they would have calculated this part as in 21 and 23, then uh, should uh, average should have been 26. But what mistake they did, instead of 21 they have noted down it as an 34, and instead of 23 they have noted down it as 38. So due to this mistake, the average is increased by 2 years. So average is increased by 2 years, that means everyone has 2 years more. So from where this 2 years with everyone is coming? Due to this wrong calculation. So what was the wrong calculation? So 13 is increased here and 15 is increased here. So the total part, if you take, the total part is 28. So they have noted down 28 years more. Due to this, each person is having now 2 years more. So total is 28 and every person is getting 2 years more. So how many people were there? 14 only. So this is how we can calculate it logically. Now the next question. Again, this was the question which I have given you in the example, right? So if there are 48 student in maths test is 53. So the average score of 48 student in maths test is 53. If the highest and lowest scores were excluded, then average score of the class would decrease by 1. The difference of these two scores is 66. Then find the highest score. So I have already told you how we can calculate this part with the help of what? With the help of formula, right? But now see the logic. I told you I can solve this part within 30 seconds. But वहां पर क्या था? It was taking at least 1 minute, right? Before it was taking 1 minute if we go with the formula. So how we can solve this part? So think like this. So let us suppose there are 48 students in maths test and they are having 53 average marks. So 48 students are there and each student is getting 53 marks. So this is the average marks. And if highest and lowest scores were excluded, that means now two students are excluded. So now we are remaining with 46 students and average becomes 52. So how you can calculate the highest plus lowest score or the student those who were excluded? How we can calculate their total marks? So the method which you will do is what? 48 into 53 minus 46 into 52. This will give you the part. So you have to multiply this part and multiply this part, then subtract, then you will get highest plus lowest marks. But logically what you can think like, if there are 46 students then average marks is 52. If I'm adding 2 students, then average is increased by 53. So what these 2 students did, they give 1 mark to each 46 student. So they have distributed 46 marks to each student because average is increased by 1 only and 46 students were there before they were excluded. Now after adding them, we are doing it reverse. So this is known as reverse engineering, right? We are doing this part in backend, right? So now every student has 53 marks. So both these 2 students who were excluded will also have 53 and 53. Now the highest plus lowest will be how much? 106 plus 46, that is 152, right? And highest minus lowest is already given as n 60. So you can calculate. This is cancel out to highest 2h is equal to, that is 212. So h is equal to what? 106. So we can calculate in a single line, or we can calculate this part in 20 seconds only, which you could have solved in 1 minute or more time, right? So if you do this part, then also you will get the difference as in 152. So this is how you should approach all these questions. I hope you are getting my point. Now you can do this question orally without any problem. How you can do? There are 30 workers working in a factory. If 2 of them whose salaries are 1950 and 1120 respectively are fired and 2 new workers join the factory, then average salary of the workers is decreased by rupees 15. Then what is the total salary of 2 new person? So there are 30 men and it has some average salary, that is X, right? And when minus 2, if 2 persons with salary how much? 1950 plus 120 1120 are fired from the company and two new people came, then average is decreased by 15. So now everybody's amount is decreased by 15, but the total number of people again are remains what, 30. So now the average is what, x minus 15. Think like this. So everybody's part is decreased by what, 15. So 30 people's average is decreased by 13. So how much is the total decrement? 30 into 15, that is 450. Now the total part is decreased by 450, then only average is decreased by 15, right? So whatever they have taken with them, whatever these two people have taken with them, the new two people have come with 450 less amount, right? So if you subtract whatever the amount they have taken with them, if you subtract minus 450, and this is the amount which was taken, which these two people brought with them, right? ये अपने साथ क्या लेके आए, 450 कम लेके आए होंगे, right? Right? So what should be their total amount? So 1950 plus 1120 will be what? It will be 3070, and if I subtract 450, it will be 2620. So 2620 will be the right answer, because they brought 450 less amount, then the average is decreased by 15, because they brought how much amount less, 450 less. And how we have calculated, because once average is decreased by 15, so what was the total decrement? Total decrement is 450. Got the point? So Mohit scores 130 runs in his 19th inning. Due to that, his average score is increased by 4.5 run. Find his initial average and current average. So let us suppose, again, we will do this with the help of logic. And what is the basic method? Let us suppose, what is the basic method? So basic method would have been, Mohit scored 130 runs in 19th inning. So in 18th inning, his average is, let us suppose, x, right? And in 19th inning, how much he has scored? 130. Then average score is increased by 4.5. So according to the question, we can write 18 into x plus 130. Now divide this part by 19, then average becomes x plus 4.5. If you solve this equation, you will be able to find out the value of x, right? Now you can directly understand the difference between the average, two average, initial and current one, it must be 4.5, right? So this cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. So if I add 4.5 to this part, this can be the answer, and if I add this can be the answer, this can be the answer. So what is the right answer? So if we go with the help of logic, so first inning, second inning, third inning, fourth inning, like 18 inning and 19th inning. So we are saying he has x as an average in first 18 innings. So we can say he has scored x run in each of the inning till 18th. But in this inning, how much he has scored? He has scored 130 runs, sorry. So if I include all the runs of 19th inning, then average is increased by 4.5. So what he did, he has added 4.5 run, 4.5 run, 4.5 run to every inning, right? So how much he has distributed in all these 18 innings? He has distributed 4.5 into 18. So 4.5 is into 18 is what? 81, right? 72.5 is what? 9. So 72 plus 9 is what? 81. So this is how you should do the calculation. Otherwise, it's easy to calculate like 4.5 into 18. 18 5s are 90, 0 and 9 carry forward, 72 plus 9. but it is easy to go with the logic, like 72 plus 9, right? Now 81 is already distributed, so 81 runs are distributed. To make their average increased by 4.5, then how much he has left for 19th inning? So he has left 130 minus 81. So this will be the current average, that is 49. So this will be the current average. So current average is what? X plus 4.5 is equal to this much. So current average is 49 and initial average was this one. So with the help of logic, we can do this type of question in 10 seconds only. I hope you got the point. Everybody understood the concept? समझ में आ रहा है सब लोगों को? Everybody getting my point, what I'm trying to tell you? So the deviation method or the logic is always best to calculate any type of question. The logic will always be applicable in each topic, not only in average. Now these are the some questions which are very difficult for the student, and they used to calculate it with the help of sometimes with the help of alligation method, or sometimes with the help of basic method, or I will tell you the third method. So I hope everybody understood the alligation method, but if you are not comfortable with alligation, then read alligation, then you can solve it easily, or I will tell you the logic also. So first we will do with the help of alligation method. Okay. So a cricketer whose bowling average is 12.5 runs per wicket takes 5 wicket for 26 runs in the next inning and thereby decreases his average by 0.4. So what is bowling average? Bowling average is what? Number of wickets taken. Bowling average is what? So total runs given divided by total wicket. So how many runs he is giving per wicket? So he is giving 12.4 runs to take a single wicket. For every wicket, he has to give 12.4 runs, right? So this is the bowling average. So if bowling average decreases, that means it is improving. So the less bowling average is improve one, right? So who is the better bowler? Who has less average? Who has less bowling average? Okay, which will be the better bowler who has less bowling average. I hope you are getting my point. So if it is decreases, that means the bowling average is improved, right? So the first bowling average was what? 12.4, right? After mixing this bowling average, so what is this bowling average? He is giving 26 runs by taking 5 wickets. So the bowling average is 5.2, right? So bowling average is 5.2 and one bowling average is 2.4. And after combining, what is the bowling average? So average is decreased by 0.4. So after combining all both the things, then the bowling average is this. I hope you are getting my point, right? So basically आप basic से कैसे कर सकते थे? How you could have done this part with the help of basics? So let us suppose there are n number of wickets he has taken with this average. So the total runs given by this bowler 12.4 into n plus these are the number of runs. These are the number of runs given 26, and how many wickets he has taken? He has taken how many wickets? Now the total number of wickets will be n plus 5. Now average will become 12 because it is decreased by 0.4. So this is the basic method in a single line. This is how you should do. Now so this is the basic method and this one is the alligation method, and how alligation will be applied. So you can also do this part with the help of basic method. Alligation method is this. So So 12.4 subtract 12, so it will come 0.4, and 5.2 subtracted from 12, so 12 is greater, so if we subtract 5.2, so it will come 6.8. So point cancel out, so the average is coming 1 is to 17. So this 1 is to 17 is what average? This is the average of the wickets. This is the ratio of the number of wickets taken, right? So how many wickets he has taken with this average? He has taken 5 wickets with this average. How many wickets he has taken with this average? He has taken n number of wickets. But 5 and n is in the ratio of 1 is to 17. So 1 unit is equal to 5. So 17 unit is equal to 85. So what is the answer? The number of wickets taken by him before the last match. Last match से पहले, before the last match. So before the last match is 85. So answer is 85. But if it is asking till the last match, then answer would have been 19. But it is asking what? Before the last match. So this is the basic method, basic, and this is allegation. Now I will tell you one another method, because both these methods are having some calculations, right? So how we can do the less calculation? A cricketer whose bowling average is 12.4. So first bowling average was 12.4. Now after taking 5 wicket by giving 26 runs, now average becomes 12. Now this is the final average. Average becomes 12. So think like this. Now we are doing this question with the help of logic or with the help of deviation method, right? Logic is what? If he will take 5 wicket, and for finally he has to give 12 runs per wicket. So how much runs he has to give, or how much runs he would have given if we had done the bowling with average of 12? So he should have given 60 runs. But how much runs actually he has given? 26. So how much run he has saved? He has saved, how much runs he has saved? He has saved 34 runs. And for every wicket, how much he has saved? 0.4. So for saving 34 runs, total he has saved what? Total he has saved 34 runs. And for every wicket, how much he is saving? 0.4 run. So total saved run, and how much he is saving each wicket? 0.4. So these are the number of wickets taken by him before the last match. So if I remove this point, then I should multiply by 10. So cut this part by 2, it will be 17. Cut this part by 2, 5. So 85 wickets are taken by him. So this is the logical way. I hope you are getting my point. So these are the wickets taken before the last match. If the question is till the last match, then I should add 5 to it also, right? Now the next question is till the last match was, right? A cricketer whose bowling average is 24.85 runs per wicket takes 5 wickets for 52 runs in next inning, thereby decreases his average by 0.85. The number of wickets taken by him till the last match was. Till the last match was. So the last match was what? The last match was in which he has taken 5 wickets by giving 52 runs. So now I will solve this question with logic. So what is the final average? The final average is 24.5. Now it is decreased by 0.85. Now final average is 24. So for every wicket he will take, he will give 24 runs. How many wickets he has taken? 5. So he should have given 120 runs. But actually how many runs he has given? He has given only 52 runs. So how many runs he has saved? he has saved 68 runs. And for every wicket, how much he is saving? 0.85. So total saved run is 68, and for every wicket, how much he is saving? 0.85. So remove this 0 into 100 by 5, it will be 17, by 5 it will cut by 20 times, 4 7 4. So before last match he has taken 80 wickets, but in last match also he has taken 5 wickets, because it is asking till the last match. So 80 plus 5 is the right answer, that is 85, because it is asking till the last match, not before the last match. It is till the last match. So before last match, how many wickets he has taken? 80. So this is the logical way. Now we will come to the first question by which I have started this lecture. So इसी क्वेश्चन के साथ मैंने लेक्चर स्टार्ट किया था, राइट? I have started the lecture with this question only, कि if this question will come, it will take around 3 to 4 minutes. It will take 3 to 4 minutes. With the help of deviation method, we can do it in 30 to 40 seconds. How we will apply deviation method? Let me tell you. So A, B, C are the three classes. A and B and C are the three classes. And what is the average? Average is what? 73, 63 and 85. 73, 63 and 85. And what is the strength? What is the strength? Strength is 54, 72 and 81. Right? So I have told you, if I take the ratio of the strength, then I can also reduce the calculation. So all these numbers are cut by 9. So 6, 8 and 9. So we can also use 6, 8 and 9. Right? So if you do not know the deviation method, then you can also do like this: 73 into 6 plus 63 into 8 plus 85 into 9, divide by what? So now 6 plus 8 plus 9. So instead of 54 plus 72 plus 81, or instead of 73 into 6, 63 into 72, 85 into 81, by what number we are multiplying? So calculation is reduced, but still we are doing so much of calculation. So how we can avoid this calculation also? So with the help of deviation method, I can avoid this calculation also. So again write 73, 63, and what is the average? 85, and the ratio of strength is what? 6 is to 8 is to 9. Now in deviation method, what we do, we take a middle average. We take what? Middle average. So 63 and 85, the middle average is 73. So I will take, if I combine all the classes together, I will take 73 as an average of all, when all three classes are merged in a single class. So this will act as, this is not the actual average, but this will act as an average. So 73. So 73. So there is no deviation because we are taking this part as an average. But here every student is having 10 marks less. And how many students are there? 80. So the total deviation will be minus 80. Total deviation will be minus 80. And here every student is having how much extra marks? 12 marks. So how many students are here? Now 9, because we are dealing with the ratio. Otherwise it could have been 81. So 81 into 12, again it will be a calculative, but with the help of ratio we have reduced the calculation. But now we have 108 students. 108 what? 108 positive value. So they have total number of, these are the total number of extra marks. If they do not have these total marks, then their average would have been 73. And if they have 10 extra mark, then their average would have been 73. So this is also deviation. So what is the total deviation? The total deviation is plus 28. Plus 28. So the total deviation is plus 28, right? I hope you are getting my point. Total deviation is plus 28, right? You are getting my point? Everybody is getting my point? So this is 12 into 9, that is 108, right? So plus 28. Now average will be what? 73 plus 28 upon what? Now this part will be divided among what? 6, 8 and 9. So 73 and 23, right? 73 and 23. Now this is what? This is what? 73 plus 1 plus, again we are left with 5 upon 23. So 5 upon 23 will give you around 0.2. So answer will be 74.2. So now we are able to do this question only in 40 seconds. So it will take how much time this deviation will take? It will take only 5 seconds. To multiply minus 10 into 8, to multiply plus 12 into 9. So it will take hardly 10 seconds. Now the next 10 second, in next 10 second we can do this type of part, and in again next 10 second. So even in 30 second we can solve this type of question, which could have taken 3 to 4 minutes. So this is the power of deviation method. So I can teach you each and every topic in this way only. This is the logical way. This is the deviation method, or you can say that concept. If you know the concept, if you know the logic, then you need not to calculate. So you can reduce the calculations in a very smart way, right? So this is it for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye and take care. I hope you like the class, right? Okay, bye bye. Take care. Thank you so much.